Hey, how you doing? It's William Sensei again. How's everyone? Forgot to mention it is July already, so happy July. And on July 3rd, we have something very important. Mr. Ludwig Guttmann was born on this day. And who is Mr. Ludwig Guttmann? I'm going to let you know. Let's go. The time is 1944. Dr. Ludwig Guttmann from Great Britain was a doctor who had helped many soldiers who had come back from the World War II, and it was still, the World War II was still ongoing, right? But ended in 1945. But he was treating soldiers. So, in 1944, he introduced a rehabilitation program. His hospital is the Midvale Hospital in Great Britain. So he thought there's got to be a way to get these troops who are wounded and give them, something to look forward to. So he said, why don't we have some sort of games like they have in the Olympics? He introduced his own games right after the 1948 Olympic Games, and he called it the Stoke Midvale Games. And the only competition at that time was archery, right? So he used archery for wheelchair users at the hospital. And basically, this event became the Paralympics. Yes. Well, basically, Mr. Guttmann thought, we can take this rehabilitation to other types of sport. The timeline goes, so he decided to do this every 4 years after the Olympics. So in 1952, he started the first international Stoke Midvale Games. In 1960, after the Olympics in Rome, he decided to have his Stoke Midvale Games, which became actually the very first Paralympic Games. And of course, Tokyo 1964 would be the very second official Paralympic Games. There is one rather important person who is Mr. Yutaka Nakamura. So Yutaka Nakamura Sensei was also a doctor. He studied at the Midvale Hospital in Britain under Mr. Ludwig Guttmann. He's the one that pushed for having a similar event here in Japan. So he served as the head of the Japanese Paralympic team for 5 times between 1964 and 1980. And he also founded Japan Sun Industry with a philosophy of not charity but chance to provide employment and housing for people with impairments. Now, the values of the Paralympics is quite simple. Courage, determination, inspiration, and equality. So these are the things that they're striving for to help people who've been impaired in some sort of way, either naturally or unnaturally. Now, the Paralympics also has their own special mark, and I'm sure you've seen it, and I will put it up here. This is called the 3 agitos. So they are comprised of curves that are red, blue, and green. And the word agito means I move in Latin, which expresses Paralympians who continue to challenge limits without giving up even in the face of difficulties. I have been putting up the countdown for the Paralympics, but I really didn't explain it, so now you've got it. And so we want to thank Mr. Guttmann for his efforts, and I'm sure all of the people and the Paralympians really thank him too, because it's given them hope. And we salute you, and looking forward to the Paralympics, which is 2 weeks after the Olympic Games here in Tokyo. So we hope you can enjoy the Paralympic Games, because there's some great Paralympic athletes, and really giving it their all with the circumstances that they have. And so really looking forward to that one also. How many more days to go before the Olympics? 20 days to go. 20 days to go. 20. Yes, so 20 more days to go. Wow. So 20 more days to go before the Olympics. So I'm very excited. And yeah, it's getting down to the wire. Yeah, so yeah, I think they're not going to call it off. It's too late for that. The only Olympic update that I can give you quickly is the athletes have started to come in. So we've had 9 nations the other day come in, which is about 137 athletes. So they're starting to slowly come to Japan and to get ready. So I'm sure in the next couple of weeks, a lot more people will be coming in. Of course, they have to have that, that 14-day, sort of period before they come into Japan. So it's quite tight. And I think we heard some other journalists complaining about the restrictions that they're imposing on the journalists and having, to watch where they are, and they can't interview any people until after 14 days of them being in Japan. So you don't like it, you don't need to come, right? That's the way I see it. We got plenty of journalists here, and even myself, I can do some interviews for people. So if you're interested in getting an interview, contact me and I'll do it for you. All right. So this has been William Sensei. Thank you for always watching, and see you again tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.